Hello everyone. So welcome back to another video. So sorry about not making a video in the past couple days. I recently basically just updated my laptop. I got like a whole new desk, a new chair even, and a new webcam. Even though this webcam, I'm a little iffy about it, but I'm gonna try it out anyways. But anyway, so I wanted to make this video a couple days ago. But if you've been following me on community, you know like basically what I've been doing. So basically, this video is about Lucid and Rivian, and I'm even gonna talk or showcase basically about Roblox and some Apple trades that I've been doing. But basically, the majority of this video, I'm gonna talk about Lucid. I'm gonna talk about like why Lucid and Rivian both like shot up, why like what caused the hype, and basically like how I've been saying, if you've been following me on the community, I've been saying like how it's overvalued, it's gonna pop, and basically how I'm gonna buy puts. So I'll showcase all of that, and I'll even do like a comparison of like Lucid to another company, same thing with Rivian, just to show you guys basically like when you're looking at financials, kind of like what to look for and try like what to determine like what's overvalued and what's not overvalued. So I'm going to cover basically a lot of things. So the screen that I'm showing right now is basically it's called Cheddar Flow, shows you your like option data. So I'll cover that as well. But so we have lots to cover. And basically, if you want to know like damn, like I should have gotten Lucid and Rivian puts. I should have started buying puts at the top and everything. Like definitely subscribe to my channel because I was talking about it, and actually a lot of people were talking about it. But then the bulls were like, no, we don't care. We're gonna keep buying anyways. This is going to 200, and Lucid is going to 100. So there was too much hype. But before we get into it, I just want to emphasize I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment purposes. Make sure you check out my channel, Your Options Guy. I basically talk about crypto, stocks. I do how-to videos. So make sure you subscribe and also check out my community. So as you can see, 2 days ago, I basically made like a poll. I'm like, hey, is Lucid and Rivian about to tank? And a majority of my subscribers said yes. A couple of people said no, and then I was basically saying that the technical and the fundamental analysis says that the bubble is basically getting too big. And then also 2 days ago, I even posted like the put positions that I opened, and then I even posted like or did an update of like when they're in the negative. But then I basically said that like, you know what, it's fine. I'm gonna double my position, and basically the next day they started like printing, so like yeah, they were making money. Oh shoot, I don't think I posted the other update, or I probably don't have it here. But I'm also gonna talk about Roblox and like Apple, so like just things to look out for, because basically whatever trades I'm doing I just post it on the community. All right, so let's get into it. So Lucid, so as you know, Lucid and Rivian both have been basically getting hyped up a lot. So Lucid one is because it got like this good award, basically saying like it's basically like the best car there is. And with the whole EV hype with Tesla surging, everyone's looking for the next Tesla, like Tesla 2.0, right? So Lucid was like one of them. Also Rivian, we'll talk about that later, but Rivian was also like in the hype. But as you can see, basically, if we look at like zoom out in the past month, it just started surging. It's still up a lot, even though it has gone down the past 2 days. It's still up a lot, like 80, 90%, and shot up all the way to like 124% this past month. And yeah, it's just been like surging like crazy. But um, so not to talk smack about Lucid, I think they have a really good car. I think they're following the very same steps that Tesla did when Tesla first started. Overall, it's like a solid company, but you do have to look at a couple things. One, you have to always look at financials. That's where you kind of get to like the fundamentals. Like, is this company like how much are they selling? Like, how much are they expected to grow? What's their revenue growth, their trajectory, and all that stuff? And then you also have to look at technicals. So if you combine those two together, you will basically get a good idea of kind of like where it's heading, and where and you can determine if it's like overvalued or undervalued. So if we take a look at, basically, let's start with the fundamentals. So as you can see, based on their last quarter earnings, Lucid revenue was around 232,000. So that's like nothing, right? And if you look at like what it was being valued at, it was actually being overvalued at around $90 billion. So that's pretty big. That's bigger than Coinbase. So if you take a look at Coinbase earnings and compare it to Lucid. All right, so real quick, I just want to say that obviously Lucid and Coinbase are two very different companies, but if you're looking at fundamentals and you know what a company that's worth 70, 80, or 90 billion dollars looks like in terms of financials, I would, you have to do like those comparisons. So if you can see, Coinbase is basically valued around $70 billion. And if you look at their financials, you can see that last quarter they reported a revenue of $1.31 billion, net income of 406 million. So obviously they're making billions of dollars. And then if you look at Lucid, which was actually valued more than Coinbase, the revenue was only 232,000. Now, obviously, this is a growth type of company. So obviously you're looking into the future, but you still have to look at the financials. Now, 232,000, that's like nothing. Like I know people who make that in a year. Like, are they valued, 80, 90 billion dollars? No, of course not. But you have to take a look at, okay, how much did it sell? Like what's going on? Like, yeah, you could hype it all you want, but how much are they actually selling? So that's one thing you have to look out for, which is basically the fundamentals. And now let's take a look at the technicals. So the technicals basically were saying that, hey, Lucid is definitely in the overbought range. So if you follow technicals, but if you would be able to spot this, and you'll be able to see like, hey, it's probably a good time to short this or buy puts or whatever. If you don't do technicals, one thing that's like super simple to take a look at, or always kind of like follow in a way, is the RSI. So the RSI is basically this purple pattern down here. Whenever the line starts getting above the 70 mark, that's basically telling you like that's a good indicator like, hey, this stock is actually getting overbought too much. Same thing goes for the other way around. If it starts going underneath 30, then you're like, hey, this is actually getting oversold. So it's probably a good time to get in. So you should just always watch out for if it's overbought or oversold. Clearly, Lucid was way in the overbought range. So that was another eye opener. It's like, hey, maybe you should buy puts, or maybe you should not get into this, wait for it to pull back. So, like combining the technical analysis and the financials basically can help you ensure like better trades or better investments. Obviously, if you're doing this for long term, it doesn't matter because you're gonna be buying at the top, you're gonna be buying at the bottom, you're gonna be consistently buying. So like this doesn't really matter to you, this technical analysis. But if you're doing like trades and quick trades here and there, definitely look at the technicals, definitely look at the financials. All right, so now let's take a look at Rivian. So Rivian, almost the same story, except Rivian basically like popped not as much as Lucid, but it was popping a lot. Actually, no, never mind. I take that back. It was popping almost as much. However, with Rivian's a little bit different because it recently IPO'd, so there was that hype. All right, so now let's move on to Roblox, and then later on let's move on to Apple. So Roblox. What happened with Roblox? So Roblox is another one that recently just started surging like crazy, and the reason for Roblox doing so well in the past couple of days is because they actually had their earnings not that long ago, and basically they showcased really good earnings. And then ever since then, the price just started going up like crazy. So as you can see, like again, another hype play. And then if you take a look at the technicals, you can see that the RSI was really like well into the overbought range. Now again, Roblox like looks like a solid company. Everything's solid about it. But you have to watch out for like, okay, is it getting overbought too much? How does it compare to like its financials? How does it compare to its peers? And you gotta do all that analysis. So thanks to this, I was able to actually like look at the Roblox play, and then I posted this actually like a couple hours ago, and then cashed in today. So now I'm doing something very similar with Apple. So if we take a look at Apple, so you can see that Apple, as of right now, it started surging up, and it's actually getting really close to that overbought range. It might have a little bit more room to like keep surging, and the reason Apple is surging is because of the whole like EV news that it recently like did. So they're doing EV stuff again, so that's why I started surging. So I'm watching out for this RSI. I'm watching out like, hey, it's getting overbought a little bit too much. There might be a pullback. Some people are gonna take profits soon. So basically what I did is I opened up a position for Apple, and as you can see, this is my positions. So again, don't forget to subscribe so you can watch or take a look at my community and then just watch what I do. I don't always trade. I don't always sell puts or buy puts or like calls, options in general. But when I do, I'll post it here the second I do it, so that way you can take a look. And yeah, so overall, remember, when you're trying to do some trades, look at the financials, look at the technicals, watch out for like hype and all that stuff. And then one thing that I like to do is if I'm gonna buy puts, I like to look out for the RSI. If it seems like it's getting overbought, I open up like one small position, because if the stock price starts going down, then I'm gonna like make some money, obviously. However, let's say it keeps going up, then I double my position. If it keeps going up from there, then I start tripling or quadrupling it. So basically, I start putting more and more money as it keeps rising, because then I know, then like, okay, like you kind of like dollar cost average up your way with puts. Same thing with calls. You can do it the other way around. So don't go all in right away if you're gonna open a trade. Like do a little by little, and don't get too greedy, and then just take profits when you can. Anyways, that's it for today's video. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to subscribe. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.